We play and call it work.
Hey there guys, and welcome to another episode of the Open Vault. We're doing something different this week because we're on YouTube. Typically this is the part of the show where I jump into the vault and show off something new, something different for you guys, for the vault members only. But this week we have Mike from Firelock Games in, and I figured that this was a great opportunity because we've been doing sponsor content for a little while, bringing in some other games and stuff, and we've never actually had somebody come up from the game itself. So what a great opportunity to actually talk to the creators of the game and things like this. And we didn't really want to keep it behind our paywall, so we figured that you guys would just get double the content today. So happy for you guys. So Mike, very nice for you to be here.
Glad to be here.
Where'd you come from?
I came from Miami, Florida,
Wow.
all the way from down there. Yeah,
Nice. And so
where it's still warm.
that is the base of Firelock Games.
That's right. Yeah, we're out of Miami, Florida.
Okay. So how about you talk about a little bit about your company and what you do there and how you got into it?
Sure. So I'm the lead game designer and partner at Firelock Games, and we started out with Blood and Plunder. It's a game I kind of just invented, and my partner Alex Aguila shared it with him. We talked about starting a game company, and then we just did it, launched Kickstarter, launched the game, and here we are.
Okay, so your whole company came out of a Kickstarter campaign then?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. That's how we funded it essentially.
Yeah.
When I started, but yeah.
Okay, so it was between you and your friend. You had an idea for a game,
Right.
And that became Blood and Plunder.
Right.
And so how did that do upon release and such?
Well, much better than we expected. If I remember, I think we did about 250,000 for a historical miniatures game about pirates with metal and resin. It seemed like we were hoping to do maybe 50, 75,000, like if we did really well. So we just totally exceeded all of our expectations. So I have no complaints.
Fantastic. Now, that historical games aren't something that we typically cover a lot of.
Right.
So what kind of inspired you to create this era of game?
It's just something I've always been interested in, and I think it's exciting, and I think the story of it is truth is stranger than fiction, right? And I think that's really the case when it comes to colonial battles and pirates and the history of America, really.
Okay.
And so that's just, I realized there wasn't any kind of game system really covering it at the moment, and I just said I want to play games in this setting, in this era, and then especially the ship combat part of it, where that's not something that was really being done. There's a 28mm skirmish kind of naval battle.
I remember we got our boat in from you guys.
Right.
I remember that being like, I was like, I've never seen something that's a boat, but then it's cut kind of in half, so it's supposed to be half underwater, and
Right.
it's big enough that you can actually put guys on it. So I thought that was a really cool kind of thing, and something I've never seen before in miniature wargaming. So now that we kind of talked on why you wanted to set here, do you want to just talk a little bit about the setting of your games?
Sure. So it takes place primarily, Blood and Plunder takes place in the 17th century for the moment. We're going to be moving that up to the 18th century to cover some of the Golden Age pirates like Blackbeard and Bonnie Merryweed and all them. But that's the 17th century in particular is a really interesting time. It's the time of the Buccaneers, and there's a lot of uncertainty, and there's still a lot of exploration happening. The Native American nations are all still there. They haven't been completely overtaken by Europeans in a lot of places yet, especially in North America. And so there's just a lot of really interesting conflicts. It's a time when the pirates of the Caribbean that people are so accustomed to, the Buccaneers and the filibusters, they were all more soldiers than like thugs. So they were staging military kind of operations like Henry Morgan's attack of Panama and stuff. So you get pirate armies legitimately that were fighting, which is such a cool thing to do on the tabletop.
Very, very cool. Yeah, I mean, the pirate setting is always fantastic.
Right.
So with Blood and Plunder doing so well, now you are here to show off your new game.
Right.
Which you were just about to start a Kickstarter for, right?
That's right, yeah. In just a couple weeks now, I think, yeah. It feels like it's tomorrow, like I say.
So what is the new game, and just kind of talk about it and how it differs from Blood and Plunder?
Right, so the new game is Oak and Iron. and the Kickstarter is launching on November 7th. And it's these ships you see before you here. So it's a 1/600 scale naval battle game. It does still include pirates. We're never going to leave our pirates behind. So everything from all the way down from little sloops to big first-rate ships of the line, which we don't have pictured here. You can play 3 to 6 ships at squadron level. You can play 9 or more at fleet scale. And this was a game that I've kind of been. This is just a game I've been wanting for a long time. Is a kind of a boxed, self-contained Age of Sail game that takes place in. That could work for the early line of battle kind of period, right? So 1650 to 1750, which is where we're starting the game, and eventually hope to scale up to 1750 to maybe like 1820 or so for Napoleonics and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it's a simple. It's just a game that's simple to play. That puts you in the admiral's position. So you're thinking about coordinating your fleet and about so not so much the nuance of sailing, which is something that Blood and Plunder captures, although a lot of the things in Blood and Plunder are here simplified, like you can't sail into the wind. If you sail off the wind, you're faster. The important aspects of sailing are covered, but unlike there are similar games like this, but they tend to focus too much on kind of a captain's perspective and from what I want out of a game, instead of the admiral's perspective, where it's more about command and control, communication, coordinating your fleet, and getting the most out of that.
Okay. Interesting. So I've never really, I guess, thought about it from that perspective, but that is an interesting kind of little differentiation. Right. That's kind of what separates Oak and Iron from Blood.
Exactly.
And then
so if you're playing a sea battle in Blood and Plunder, you're in the captain's perspective, the captain's seat, right? So you're rallying your crew, you're getting them to reload the guns, you're repairing damage, changing sails, and maneuvering your ship to try to outmaneuver the other person's ship. Whereas here, it's the same kind of thing but zoomed out. So you're doing it with your squadron or your fleet of ships, and trying to keep them in line, fighting together, in position. So each ship here would really run more like a unit of models in Blood and Plunder.
Okay. So the 6 ships we have here, is this a starter set? Is this...
This is close to it.
Okay.
Some of these ships may change by the time we launch the Kickstarter. But it will, as of now, I think this is going to be pretty close to what it'll be. We're still waiting on that final pricing, just to make sure that we get all of our ducks in a row. We got the right amount of ships in there and everything.
Of course.
But I hope to be able to put 6 ships in the box.
Cool.
Out of the gate. And so that way you get it. And because the ships are all kind of generic between factions, and what changes and what gives the flavor to each faction is the different cards and stuff like that. This can work as a full force for one player or as a 2-player starter as well. So
that's very nice. Both ways. I really like when companies do that with their starter sets and making them so you don't always have to split it with a friend, because that can sometimes be the issue.
Yeah, and then if you buy 2 boxes, you've got 2 full ready to go forces with all the extras and details.
Exactly. If you want to be that one person who always collects things and has friends over to play, then that would be perfect for you. So now entering naval kind of games, this is something that other companies have done, but never this era, right? That's kind of your thing. Yeah,
I think for the most part. I'm sure there's some smaller games or game companies that have done stuff like this, but as far as I know, nobody's really done the late 17th and early 18th century. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. So your Kickstarter is about to launch.
Yep.
Obviously, with having one successful Kickstarter behind you, you're going into this one with
two.
Yeah. Okay.
We did an expansion as well for No Peace Beyond the Line, which added a bunch of stuff to the game.
Perfect.
So this will be our 3rd Kickstarter.
Very, very nice. So what are some of these stretch goals people can look forward to?
Cool. So stretch goals, one thing we want to really avoid is getting ourselves... we've seen a lot of other companies struggle with production, right? And a lot of things like that. So we're going to make sure to keep it bare for the most part. We're going to come in... We want to put value in the box. That's what the stretch goals are going to be all about, right?
Okay.
So it's going to be about adding content more than anything, more than really adding models. We were going to maybe try to add some models here and there, but for the most part, it's about adding content. So it's more being able to add more cards in the box and more of the tools and the templates and tokens and stuff, and things like that. So
Okay. And just in general, for somebody who plays 40K or, you know, a Games Workshop game, how would you say that your games differ from them?
So from a Games Workshop type of game?
Yeah, because a lot of our viewers come from that kind of background.
Okay. The main thing I think is, well, obviously cost. We're definitely going to be a little bit, we're more cost friendly, so it's not as big of an investment to get into.
For sure.
One of the things that I'd say is I think because we have a lot less and we're a newer company, there's a lot more balance. We don't have as much, 40K is a gigantic universe with tons of stuff, and there's always something that's going to be better.
You're always going to find that one SKU that works really well, right?
So these games, all the games we've done so far, people have always commented on the balance and how it's that no matter when they try to break the game, they really can't. So that's always which is something we strive to try to do and make sure the games are balanced and on top of that, easy to pick up and play and quick. So if you play a really long game of Blood and Plunder, it'll take you 2.5 hours, right?
Okay, that's kind of the max,
right? Whereas a typical game is really an hour and a half or so, and then this is even less. This is typically about an hour. So it's the games you could just pick up and play. It doesn't require heavy investment, and you're gonna have a balanced and tactical game.
Fantastic. Yeah. That sounds like a lot of fun, and of course, because you are down, you are going to be filming a battle report with.
That's right.
Luca and is it Luca and Josh or just Luca?
Yeah, Luca and Josh.
Okay, so that is something to look forward to in the future if you guys are interested. And what day is your Kickstarter going to start?
November 7th. Yeah.
So there you go, guys. That is
look out for it.
Because I guess this is coming out tomorrow, so about a week or two out for that. So be sure to stay aware for that, and of course you'll see our next video coming up.
Right.
But
so if I could.
Yeah, of course.
oakandirongame.com.
Yes.
Oakandirongame.com.
That's what I did forget to say that.
That's cool. I almost forgot to. So.
Where to purchase is
that's the landing page right now. It's got some it'll have videos. So once you guys post your content, we'll share it on there. It's got a picture of the ships, some design notes I put in there, and a bunch of and a place to sign up for newsletter to get reminded of when the Kickstarter starts and progress as we go.
Perfect. And of course, Firelock Games is your main website.
That's right, firelockgames.com.
That you can get all the other products if you're interested in Blood and Plunder or other things, right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Lucky for you guys, you get double the content here on YouTube today. So this won't always be the case, but you guys get a lucky little tidbit today. So thank you guys so much for watching, and happy wargaming.
Take care.
Perfect.
Cool.
So we kind of covered everything fairly well.